invited operators to tell us what their plans are for icing. So we, again, sort of one of those known issues, and like any transportation system, is susceptible to certain limitations.
Any last questions? Oh, yeah, yes, sorry.
I'm Christine Hader from Community Board 11. This does not come into our, but I just have a few questions. I think it's wonderful, you know, that we're extending the ferries. I think it's an excellent way to travel. But I do have a couple of questions. It was brought up about parking. And I firmly believe that if you don't have parking on what you called your hard esplanades, that's going to be a deterrent. And the other thing I want to know is, what accommodations have you made for handicap?
Sure. That's an excellent question, and something I failed to mention. The entire system is ADA accessible and local law 86 compliant.
The ramps and the
ramps and everything.
Gangway and
Yep.
whatever you call them these days?
In fact, one of the reasons that the barge is as far out into the water as it is that understanding what the distance the tide is, we want to make sure that the gangway was not going to exceed the 1 in 12 incline and decline rates. And in fact, there are actually ways you can get around it, but we wanted to make sure that we're still abiding by the spirit of those rules for anyone who's using a wheelchair or a walker. Right.
Now, some of the ramps have kind of like lines, you know, like a little slat of wood this way. Is it going to be, because wheelchairs don't do well on that?
The final design isn't together, but I know that
I would appreciate you take that into consideration. And will these all be new ferries? Or are we going to refurbish some of the old ones we have floating around?
So we invited the operators to tell us what their plan for acquiring vessels are. I mean, just broadly speaking, nobody has 20 ferry vessels lying around. But some people have some, and we will work with the operators. We can't really talk too much about what the procurement looks like, because that's folks have brought us different plans. But someone's going to have to build some vessels in order to meet the full system. Whether or not they're repurposing some older vessels would be more of a business decision by the operator.
Okay, and I have one last question. You say that you're very sensitive to wakes and kayakers and recreational boating. How many knots will these ferries be running? I mean, how fast are they going to be going? And no matter which direction you come, like the two you showed in, thank you, Hallett's Cove, two, they have to back out, okay, then turn to whatever direction they're going. So they're going this way, let's say they're going north. So their wake is going to filter out east and west. So
sure. So one of the things that we've talked about doing,
not just in the back, it'll filter all the way out. As a boater, I know that.
Yeah. No, and we, again, this is one of those operational elements that we have to work out, that we want to work closely with the boating community as we get there. I don't want to sort of say exactly what the speed is that they're going to be going, but we did say, in fact, in the RFP, that we want you to maintain a certain schedule. We said these are certain headways, and we want you to provide us a plan that makes sure that you don't need to run so fast that you are going to be causing excessive waves and doing things like that. Again, part of the learning process.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So our meeting is October 13th.
No commercials.
All right, so we're going to take one last question, and then I'm going to ask, not to put him on the spot, Matt, if you had anything to add. Not to put him on the spot, but just if you had anything to add, since this is part of the district.
I mean, Councilmember Van Bramer is really important for him to have additional transportation options, so we're really excited about the ferry. You know, we're still listening to people's concerns about the location, but I think that we're concerned also about noise and the sound of the horns, and if we start getting a lot of complaints from people who live in those towers that are right next to the landing, and that's a concern. But I mean, we're excited about this and interested to see what the community board says, and what Lisa and Pat and everybody. Thank you.
I have just one more question, which is about opportunities for sponsorship. I mean, do you see that